Here's the wake-up call. With Reverend Horace Sheffield, rise up, wake up. Let the truth be told. The wake-up call. It's the wake-up call.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's the wake-up call.
Let the truth be told.
You are here with Sheffield and Friends. Wake-up call. We're here on the corner of Grand River and Wyoming, 12048 Grand River. Come on, make some noise, y'all. I know y'all are here. We have information here for you. We also have free breakfast. We have biscuits, grits, and
salmon croquettes.
We have salmon croquettes, biscuits, and that's all for the 5-finger discount. That's free 99, FREE 99. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor. Come on down. It's free while supplies last. We got a great show on today, but before we get to our show, I want to introduce Ed Lover.
Good morning, Detroit.
The original Ed Lover. We say the best for last. We have the queen to be. Queen Sabrina Athena here also. Good morning, Queen.
Great morning. Happy Saturday, ladies and gents.
Good. And we're going to have a wonderful show today. But before we do that, we got, like I said, we got a few announcements. This one comes by way of the City of Detroit Department of Elections. The Detroit City Clerk, Janice Winfrey, is reminding you that a gubernatorial primary is scheduled for Tuesday, August 4th. Your vote matters now more than ever. We will be nominating candidates in the offices of governor, U.S. Congress, and other state and local offices. If you're voting absentee, return your ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. You can vote early Saturday, July 25th through Sunday, August 2nd, at any of the 8 early voting centers from 9 to 5 p.m. Or you may vote on Election Day at your polling place from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. You can ride the D-Dot buses to the polls for free. Everybody say free.
Free.
Come out to our Get Out to Vote block party on July 25th at 2978 West Grand Boulevard from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. to kick off early voting. For more information, visit detroitmi.gov/elections or call 313-876-VOTE. That's 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard. Our future is in your hands. We got some announcements, Queen.
Sure.
I guess your name is Sabrina. I shouldn't be calling you Queen, right?
I am a queen. Fibroids, ? Told the only options are surgery and hysterectomy is a lie. Town hall meeting. Join Reverend Horace Sheffield, Dabo Detroit, and John Littman Imagine Fibroid Centers. And that's going to be on Monday, July 27th at 6:00 p.m. There's a barcode here for you to RSVP or check out more information about it. But this is an incredibly, sadly, widespread issue. So come hear about non-surgical and non-invasive options that preserves childbearing and uterus keeping.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have a dance workshop, beautiful community dance workshop, Friday, August 7th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a full day of community Christian dance for all ages. We are working to, a focus on youth and teens with this particular instructor, and that would be Yolanda Roundtree. So to register, please dial 313-859-9489, and that is also going to be at the Bridge Center, 9928 Grand River Boulevard, Avenue, excuse me. All right, we got some beautiful music coming from the Sounds of the Bridge Center on August 19th. That's a Wednesday. We're going at 7:00 p.m. and we're featuring Love's Billy Paul. Wow, Billy Paul is going to be here with his guitar. And that's going to be
no. Billy Paul it's going to be a tribute to Billy Paul.
It's a tribute.
Yeah,
okay.
He's not with us anymore.
Y'all gotta help me out.
So if Billy Paul showed up, I wouldn't be there.
Arnell Carmichael, thank you. No, please get me where I need to be got. So we love Billy Paul, and we're going to be singing his music. And Arnell Carmichael will be there on August 19th, and beginning at 7:00 p.m. at the Bridge Center. We also have violinist Candace Pretty String Smith and comedian Keisha Edwards. So that's going to be a really awesome one. This is our 30-year supporting Dabo Choose Healthy Life event. All right, we're back with the Detroit Talent Showcase, where talent finds expression. You're looking for a place to express some talent? Come on down to Dabo. The Detroit Talent Showcase is going to be hosted this time by comedian Keisha Edwards. That's going to be on Thursday, August 20th from 6 to 9 p.m. There are cash prizes up to $2,500 plus TV features, promotion, publicity, press, and you get to invite your mama. Bring everybody down to the Bridge Center so they can see you do your thing. Scan the QR code or visit dayboevents.netfly.app for tickets. All right, now we have the Dabo's annual women's conference. Very, very important. This one is sponsored by DWIN. This is going to be talking about opioid epidemic, mental illness and trauma, all the things that we need to collectively have a conversation about in a safe space. So that, again, the safe space is the Bridge Center, 9928 Grand River Avenue, if you didn't know. And again, that's on August 21st. That's a Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
All right, those are our announcements. As they say in church often, govern yourselves
Accordingly.
Before we start the show, I want to give a shout out. A lot of you may not be familiar with Marvelous Marv back in the day on the radio. Well, he passed away the other day.
Oh, no.
And his son's a good friend of mine, and he was a retiree of the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, but he did leave us. We want to make sure that we keep his family in prayer. And yeah, Marv was the man. Marvelous Marv used to like the women with the burgundy hair.
Oh, okay.
And I remember him. So just keep them in prayer. Marvelous Marv Taylor. All right, so we got a great show today. Joining us right now is Dr. Umar Subani, Director of Psychiatric Consultation Liaison Services for DMC. I'm gonna say that one more time. Dr. Omar Subani, Director of Psychiatric Consultation Consultant. What is this word?
Director of Psychiatric Consultation Liaison Services for DMC.
Thank you so much. And let's welcome him to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a lot fancier title than what I actually do.
Hey, and you know, this is our follow-up. We had a conversation on Thursday, and this is really I'm gonna say heavy conversation with regard to mental health. So tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to the profession of psychiatry.
Well, I hope it's not a heavy discussion. I hope this is kind of an enlightening discussion that people can learn and we can learn from each other because really that's what the world of psychiatry is about. Now, to give the audience a little bit about myself, I'm a staff psychiatrist at Wayne State and Wayne Health, and I work through the Detroit Medical Center with patients from this community and with the trainees that we have, both medical students and psychiatry residents, as well as other residents from other specialties. And I trained here at the Sinai Grace Hospital and the Ardmore Clinic, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And I also do work at the Adult Central Campus at Harper Hospital in Detroit Receiving.
All right, Ed.
Yes, and I had told Sabrina that I was going to give a little bit of my background in this field.
Be careful.
New Center Mental Health Services was a provider here in the city of Detroit, and I was managers of both the transportation and the maintenance departments. And what I found out in my journey was that a lot of people who suffer from mental health problems or issues are not people to fear, but to try to understand. And when I first began my journey with them, I learned that firsthand. And one of the most profound things that was ever told to me by somebody who was suffering from mental health, she made the statement, they don't tell you everything. And that can apply to your lives entirely, because you only hear one version when somebody tells you about something, and that's their version. That's not necessarily the truth. So we have to be more considerate of those that are suffering from mental health issues. But Dr. Subani, what made you decide to go into the field?
Well, that's a great question, and I appreciate your point. Really, what drew me to this field is the training directors and the doctors that I worked with as a medical student. and they really were very generous with me. And some of you may know Dr. Shiner, very generous with me and taught me a lot of things. And I was just fascinated by the work and the stories that people had. And it truly, it didn't feel like work when I would go in. So this is kind of my introduction to psychiatry, and it's been a very rewarding experience for me.
Well, this is a continuous journey, believe me on that. You know, from my years of dealing with people with issues.
Right.
And I'm going to say this, that it's a pleasure to meet someone who's has the opportunity to dwell or delve into this field, because most of us fear what we don't understand.
Mhm. Mhm.
So by you being in the field, you have a better understanding of those around you. You know, we tend to say that people are crazy, but who's to say that they're not the same ones and we're the ones that's
That's a good
crazy?
point.
Watch out now. Ed over here dropping these pearls of wisdom, y'all.
Tipsy-turvy.
Snap y'all fingers for Ed over here.
Tipsy-turvy.
Go ahead, Sabrina.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions for you. I'm trying to stay to the script as much as possible. Your work is fascinating and very important. So thank you for being here. What are some of the main causes of mental illness? And not again, we know people, maybe didn't have the best pregnancy, so there's some things going on. Or is this something that you can acquire from the air? Is it, like how does this all work?
Well, I would say there's many layers to mental illness. First, it's important to consider genetic factors. So if mental health issues definitely are connected to people's biology, they get passed down from generation to generation. Some people are predisposed to mental illness, so that's one layer, the baseline layer. The other layer, it really starts in the prenatal. You mentioned when the mother is pregnant with someone, the kind of pregnancy the mother may have had, the stress she was under, if she was taking any medication, and it builds itself throughout the person's lived experience early in life, how they were brought up, how they had relationships, attachments to parents, their level of intellect, if they were able to read and write. Oftentimes, I mentioned this on Thursday, if someone has difficulty reading, sometimes they get pushed to the side of the classroom, they get kicked out of class, they start to suffer from low self-esteem, they get themselves in trouble, and then they get labeled with
Trauma.
It's very traumatic, I would agree. And that's another avenue that people develop these illnesses, is which often goes undiagnosed, especially in the African American community, I would say, is the level of trauma that people have. And this can, in fact, change how someone sees themselves in the world. Yes.
Yeah, we normalize a lot of stuff that is actually traumatic. Just wanted to put a period on that.
So psychosomatic medicine and the relationship between mental and physical health. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. This is kind of an area of specialty that I spend a lot of time in, and it goes back to why I got into this business. I really noticed that when oftentimes people in the hospital, they have all kinds of medical illnesses, their blood sugar, their heart, headaches, difficulty sleeping. And I found that oftentimes it's because they have a lot bottled up. And when they're able to put some of these feelings into words, sometimes just the amount of inflammation and the amount of adrenaline that's running through them kind of goes down, and they're able to make more sense of their illnesses. So really, it's the connection between the body and the mind that really drew me in, and why I appreciate the people that I see and I work with.
All right, so the Ardmore Clinic. Tell us a little bit about the Ardmore Clinic and also some of the mental illnesses that you treat there.
Sure. So the Ardmore Clinic is a great place. It's I first want to point out that it's been part of this community, and especially in the west side of Detroit, for over 50 years. It used
And where is it located?
It's on McNichols and Outer Drive.
Okay.
And right next to the Sinai Grace Hospital. It's actually on the same campus as the Sinai Grace Hospital. It used to be the outpatient department of the old Sinai hospitals, which many of your listeners may be familiar with. And it kind of transitioned after the merger with Grace and Mount Carmel and joining DMC.
That's 80s talk.
That's
80s talk.
before I was born, but it's
Really?
important to know.
Oh, well, let's move on.
So, but that's to speak of the history that it has here, and it's a mental health clinic with psychiatrists like myself, social workers, therapists. Since with its affiliation with the academic program at Wayne State, there's residents and medical students there. So it's really an academic and educational environment for us as doctors, but also for the patients, and we all learn together there. And as I mentioned, it's the outpatient arm of Sinai Grace Hospital Behavioral Health Department. There's a crisis center and a walk-in clinic and an inpatient unit for the more severe cases that we see. As far as the types of illnesses, I mean, we treat and work with a whole range and spectrum of illnesses that people suffer from, whether it be mood disorders like depression or bipolar, thought disorders like schizophrenia, anxiety, trauma, which you mentioned, all kinds of these things we have experience with.
Mood and thought disorder. Again, that's something that I know because you
Sure.
say it, but I also didn't think of it as two different separate aspects of mental health. The genres that exist. So anxiety is more of a thought process issue, and depression is more of a mood issue.
Sure. The way I would characterize it is anxiety is maybe we can think of it as fear of what's to come and constantly worrying about the future. Depression is being stuck in the past and grieving over things that have happened in the past.
Can two exist at once?
Of course, and that can be very debilitating for someone.
So on Thursday, we had the opportunity to speak, as I mentioned earlier, and we were talking about the relationships that medical professionals or doctors like yourself have with their patients. Can you talk about the advocacy, that how important it is for not only you to advocate for them, but the actual patients to advocate for themselves, and actually being able to feel comfortable asking questions? How do you find yourself being effective and having an impact on the community that you serve in that capacity?
Well, this is such an important issue because when I see someone, I only see them for that small cross section of their life. They have lived many years before meeting me, and they've survived much more than I can understand. I can only my job is to listen and understand, and as a psychiatrist, that's really what we're here for. So I have so much strength I have so much respect in the strength that people have and the courage for them to come talk to me and trust me with the things they go through. And it really it helps everyone actually when people are able to speak openly.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, because sometimes episodes are caused by either medically induced or you say genetics. What about those individuals that are taught that type of behavior, by parents? Do you bring the family into for consultation?
Well, this is a great question. Sure. Yeah, this is a great question because our development starts with our parents' development and how they were raised and how they were taught, and they learn how to be parents from their own parents, and it goes up from generation to generation. So it's really parents do the best that they can with what they have been taught. Now, our job here is sometimes when there's, if there's bad coping or faulty way of raising children, our job is to break this cycle. And that can be sometimes with therapy. It can be with finding other role models in the community. And that's why we can talk about this more. But I mean, places like this and religious figures and community leaders, sometimes they take place of parents,
Yeah.
which is so important in some cases.
Sabrina?
Sure. So lots of writing over here. I'm scribbling and thinking, and it's interesting that you say parents hand down what they've been taught, because that's kind of the natural progression of humanity. Wherever your culture is, your parents are they are tasked with continuing that culture in their children, and sometimes that doesn't always meld well with society in the ways that we would want it to. I think us millennials are really a transitional era of that, because it's like, what do you mean? I don't like this. They're doing that. Neither here nor there. What type of actual treatments do you execute for the patients? And what are some of the most common causes for people to come and see you?
Well, I would say, and we can frame this by talking about the Ardmore Clinic here. We have something we call multidisciplinary. So there's many approaches to helping people. That can be something like psychological, meaning helping the patient make sense of their mind and their feelings and their thoughts, and that's done mainly through therapy. And we can have another discussion about the kinds of therapy people benefit from. There are social services. We have social workers who help people connect with communities outside of the clinic, with services, with work opportunities, transportation, all these things that are so important. And we have the biological side, which is something that you may speak with a doctor with, and involves medication if that's needed. But that doesn't stop there. And all of these things are so important, and they're so connected to each other. That's how we kind of approach. So there's biological, psychological, and social.
How can you help yourself? We'll teach you. How can we help you outside of here? And then how can we potentially further help if that's necessary through medicative needs?
I would say so. I think that's a great way of framing the approach of how we when we talk to patients.
Yeah, I like to put water in it.
I think that's fantastic.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Dr. Umar Subani, Director of Psychiatric Consultation, Liaison Services for DMC. And you can listen to us right now on 107.5 and 101.5 FM, Faith Talk 1500 AM. And we're also on YouTube Live. Tell a family, friend, or somebody to tune in and get some of this good information. Again, we're here on the corner of Grand River and Wyoming. We have biscuits, grits, and
salmon croquet.
We have a live audience here, and the breakfast is free, the information is free, and the fellowship is free, and the environment is enlightening and motivating, and we just want to broaden your bandwidth and continue to share information for God's most valuable resources, which are his people. So Dr. Subani, again, we were talking about engaging with the community, and specifically, we know you deal with all different demographics, but specifically as it relates to African Americans, it seems like it's taboo to actually seek out mental health services, therapy, especially amongst African American men. And how do you wisely, delicately, and in a dignified way, respectfully engage some of those people to try to dispel some of those myths?
Well, first when thinking about this issue, it's good to first take a look back and consider it historically. So, there's a long history of the African American community specifically being let down by the medical institutions.
Yes, sir.
And for your older listeners, you can they may be familiar with the Tuskegee trial, or the Tuskegee scandal. And for your younger listeners, I encourage you to read about it. But there's been also other situations with medical sterilization, or access to healthcare, or just tragic things in which the African American community specifically has been let down by the medical community. So that's first thing. It's important to frame it in that way. That's where people are coming from, and this is not paranoia. It's actually a cautionary tale that's passed down from generation to generation.
And I think that right there is important that you say it's a cautionary tale, because some folks would look at us as a general statement and say that we're being victims and saying all those things, but it's real. The trauma is real, and it's generational. You stated that these things could be passed down from generation to generation. And so
Absolutely.
For some ethnic groups, we'll say it's fine, but for us, it's, we can't do it. So.
Of course, and then the other thing is to look at this from a cultural perspective. There's a culture, and I can speak personally from the Arab and Muslim community, is of the close relation with faith and religion, in that if something tragic were to happen to someone, sometimes people fall into the pattern of thinking they are at fault, or there's something that they did which leads to guilt, which can worsen kind of people's experience. There's also family perspectives of, airing out dirty laundry and keeping it in the
Oh,
family.
yeah.
So these are all things that are at play here. And my message to your audience is, and I'm speaking actually specifically to community leaders and churches and mosques and synagogues, is that, and the leaders there, is that psychiatry and behavioral health and the Ardmore Clinic and myself personally, I'm not there to replace you. I'm there actually to be a tool, and I actually depend on these communities to serve as a bridge to help people get help.
Absolutely. I know if Reverend Sheffield was here, he would talk about, he calls it prayer plus. Prayer plus. He said,
That's fantastic.
and the scripture he references is faith without works is dead. We got all the faith in the world, but if you don't put no work with it, you ain't
Sitting right there.
I would
you ain't
agree
gonna
with
get
that.
anything. So again, it's important that we understand how to balance those things and how to ensure that in the event that I do see a psychiatrist, a psychologist or such, I'm not forfeiting my faith or compromising my faith. But what I'm doing is actually trying to, exercise my faith and see it manifest and be to its full potential.
I would agree.
Ed.
Yes, and I understand that you guys deal with a lot of referrals from different agencies and whatnot. But are walk-ins acceptable?
Of course.
And insurance requirements, are there major, or are there grants or anything like that that people could use to help cover the cost of the treatment?
Of course. So at the and I'll frame this through the Ardmore Clinic here. We take all kinds of insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, and if you don't have insurance, we have ways to help you get connected and get insurance. And we've had many people benefit from that way. As far as the walk-in clinic, yes, there is a walk-in clinic for people who are trying to get connected through our crisis center, which is a very it's always available 24/7.
Is there a phone number?
Yeah, it's 313-966-2100.
Could you repeat that for us, please?
Yes, 313-966-2100. There's also the suicide hotline, which is important for people to know. It's 988. The walk-in clinic is at Sinai Grace Hospital emergency room. It's kind of a separate suite. And there's also one at Detroit Receiving Hospital. Those are available to anyone who needs them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. There's always a psychiatrist there.
So today you guys were supposed to have a community event, but that community event was canceled. Have you guys rescheduled that yet, or?
I'll have to get back to you on the details,
Okay.
but it will be rescheduled.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
let us know so we can make sure we let our community folks know how to get out there so they can see what's going on over there at Sinai Grace.
I know we only have about 3 minutes till break, so something to consider, something that is on my heart and head as someone who has recently given birth within the last 5 years. Maternal mental health is a huge conversation and topic. A lot of people are weary, myself included, about even if it's an SSRI or any type of medication that you would be taking while pregnant to help regulate something that was going on even before you got pregnant, right?
Sure.
And you work with Hutzel Hospital, which we know is the epicenter of maternal health and studies and all of that. Another aspect of bipolar disorder is a form of depression, right? When it comes down to our pregnant people, how are they being serviced, and what would you offer advice to anyone who sees any symptoms or signs that someone pregnant needs further assistance other than being just pregnant?
Well, it's a great point, and like you say, it often goes underdiagnosed. And to think of things first biologically, after you give birth, there's a huge crash of hormones, and this crash of hormones kind of throws the whole nervous system off balance. So it would not be surprising if women have these issues and have these troubles. And if it happens once with one pregnancy, it's very likely to happen in other pregnancies. So to be prepared for it and to educate yourself, and again to have the courage. And I think this, and I want to say this in closing here to all your listeners, is it takes courage to speak up and reach out for help.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah, and
Everybody say courage.
And there's a culture of maybe white knuckling the pain and the grief that people have. But I would actually look at it that it takes real strength and courage to open up to someone and make sense of these things with someone.
All right, you guys, put your hands together for Dr. Umar Subani, Director of Psychiatric Consultation Liaison Services from DMC. We appreciate you coming out. We would like to continue to bridge this partnership and maybe have you come out again and share with us. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for
We'll be
having
right
me.
back right after this.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call.
Thank you very much.
Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey, reminding you that the gubernatorial primary is Tuesday, August 4th. We'll nominate candidates for governor, U.S. Congress, and other state and local offices. Return your absentee ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. You may also vote on Election Day at your polling place. To learn more, call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Your future is in your hands.
Wednesdays are made for jazzy nights at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, July 22nd. Get ready for Jonathan Butler live with special guest Kiko Masui. Then July 29th, PJ Morton with Jay Brown. Tickets for this show and the full Jazzy Night season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com and the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
Hello, I'm Reverend Horace Sheffield. My friend Dr. John Littman has spent the last 30 years helping women suffering from fibroids. I've seen his passion for this work firsthand at his center in Atlanta. Now, Dr. Littman and Dr. Philip Adler are bringing that mission to Detroit through EMOJ Fibroid Centers offering uterine fibroid embolization, or UFE, a proven non-surgical option to treat fibroids. Call 248-793-5249 or visit emojfibroidcenters.com to learn more.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey, reminding you that the gubernatorial primary is Tuesday, August 4th. Return your absentee ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. Vote at any of our early vote centers from July 25th through August 2nd, or vote on Election Day at your polling place. To learn more, call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Your future is in your hands.
Wednesdays are made for jazzy nights at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, July 22nd. Get ready for Jonathan Butler live with special guest Kiko Masui. Then July 29th, PJ Morton with Jay Brown. Tickets for this show and the full Jazzy Night season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com and the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call. With Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up. Let the truth be told. The wake up call.
All right, y'all, put your hands together. We are back. We are back. Here in the corner of Grand River, Wyoming, 12048 Grand River at Daybowl. And we have free breakfast. We have biscuits, grits, and
Salmon croquettes.
salmon croquettes for the 5-finger discount. Like I said earlier, that's free 99. I didn't say 3. I said free, FREE. And we are having a good time. Just had a great, robust conversation with Dr. Omar Subani, as I was corrected by my colleague from DMC. And now we have Tiffany A. Stewart, Director of Quality Management for the Detroit Health Department. And our topic today is going to be Comprehensive Health Assessment and Improvement Plan. Welcome to the show, Ms. Stewart. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you guys for having me. I am the Director of Quality
Gotta love the
Management.
mic.
Can you hear me?
Get on in there.
Let me get on up in
There
here.
you
There you go.
Hey, y'all. How y'all
Welcome.
doing?
Good.
I'm the Director of Quality Management at the Detroit Health Department, and it is a privilege to be here. I'm also a woman of faith, so to be able to combine health, faith, and justice on this platform is a privilege. So I make sure that we can provide direct services to our residents here in the city of Detroit. So that's your accreditation. If I don't do what I do, we can't serve 650,000 residents. So I look at accreditation. The community health assessment is our love letter to Detroit. It is an update of community health status since 2018. And 2018 is almost 10 years ago. So we needed to understand the community health status where we were at. So I had the privilege of leading that work, uh, assessing, exploring. This is how I ran into DABO, community assets, generational service to the community, health, wellness, and improving that. So we've got some things that we've got to work on. We saw health and all policies in action with this air quality issue. So I'm just here to put that faith with action, help us to rise healthier and to rise higher as we do it.
All right, Sabrina.
She's putting work in the faith. It's not dead. It's alive.
It's alive.
I see it alive and well. Okay,
Yes.
so let's know more about your background. How did you become this incredible quality management? Because that's a detailed position.
Yes,
You got to
ma'am.
be very on point with all the. As the project manager, I get it. So
Yes.
so tell us more about your background and how long have you been in the healthcare profession?
Sure. I have been in the healthcare profession about 15 years or so. In the healthcare space and the public health space, it's a bit nuanced. So just trying to lift as I climb. We have issues. We have sugar. We've got mental health challenges. We've got air quality challenges. And this is by design. So went to school for quality, started in the automotive industry. That took a turn during 9/11, and then came back home to do some work. We've got some work to do about being healthier, and we've got to hold some people accountable through voting. So just someone out here trying to make a difference, went and got some education, and want to see people like me be healthy and to live their best lives.
Ed.
Yes, it's interesting that you chose this field of endeavor. And would it leads me to believe that you are a Detroiter and you care about Detroiters. And that's a very important thing to do because there are a lot of things that we take for granted or don't take advantage of, and that is our health. So is there any type of outreach programs? I know you're more on the providing side. Are there any more ways that people could take advantages of the services that your department offers?
Sure. The health department, it belongs to the citizens, right? It is our mission and our value to provide quality services to the residents. So if you need your immunizations, we saw people needing masks, right? If you need something that needs to be, you pay for this. This is taxpayer dollars that go into services, including behavioral health. There's a strong Sister Friends program. We talked about mental and behavioral health in the previous segment. Your immunizations, making sure that you are well and that your quality of life is what you need it to be, and to minimize the waste as you try to get that for yourself and for your family.
Well, as an old-time Detroiter, I'm going to be honest with you. I miss Herman Kiefer.
I was just thinking that.
We hear that all the
Because,
time.
you know what, is there a way that, or is it possible that we could create a new version?
How does that exist in today's world? Like, where is the health department? Where can I go? Is it more than STDs? Like, what can we do with it?
It sure is. It sure is. It's more than STDs. We're located at 100 Mack Avenue.
Yep.
Our administrative offices are right in Midtown. We have neighborhood wellness centers. So I would say where we're at now is a modernization of the Herman Kiefer model. We know that was a one-stop shop. So yeah, it's more than STDs. you can come in and you can wrap around those services, those social services that you need for your health at 100 Max.
Well, I'm gonna say this for the younger generation because the reference was made about STDs. Herman Kiefer was much more than that. You can get your birth certificate. You can get a whole bunch of things that you can get addressed at Herman Kiefer.
I had
Right.
hearing tests at the kid at Herman Kiefer.
Right.
All I remember is them blue hallways walking down.
Not the blue
I wanted you to speak to the fact that your health is an investment in yourself.
It is.
And a lot of times when we find ourselves getting the bag or, hitting the lick or whatever the case is, the first thing you want to do is pay our bills off, which is fine, or go shopping or buy a car.
And your house is falling down.
Right. But not only that though, that's your literal house, but
Yeah.
talk about the investment in yourself and health. You talked
Yes.
about investing in mental health and physical health. You can't continue to enjoy or reap the benefits of the work that you're putting in if you're not taking care of yourself. Especially men. We don't like going to the doctor and then it's too late once we find out some things have gone past or whatever, and you ain't feeling right. Things ain't working right, and we still won't go to the doctor. But talk about the investment that we need to make in ourselves. And the fact there's no excuse. If you don't have insurance, if you're uninsured, there are places where you can go still get checked out and things of that nature, please.
Sure. Health is your wealth,
Yep.
right? And just like Ed said, you've got to one-stop shop if you can, but we can't. We're in a day and time where, and I think that's a very important question. Point rather. The community health assessment showed us that people want to live a healthy life. That you want to have access to health care. Your investment in your health, it's the quality of life. And I think as we rise healthier and we rise higher in this moment, you've got to get out there and walk. We need help with the built environment. Can you get to a park? You asked, why did I get into this work? Because without health, you don't have anything to that point. So I think the community health assessment coming out of the pandemic, we see that people want healthier moms and babies. People want access to healthier foods. And
if I can interject, because that was going to be my next question. What role can the health department play in making sure that we have fresh produce and things of that nature in our access to our people in our communities? That's a major issue. I mean, when I tell you I'm so tired of the disproportionate amount of liquor stores compared to grocery stores, and babies walking around sucking on Kool-Aid rather than I'm just saying all that plays a role in everything that we complain about. I mean, it's like we want to deal with symptoms of a problem. We don't never want to go down and deal with the root. We want to deal with shootings and teen takeovers. But if they eat right, they ain't on sugar highs and all that stuff, and the brain could develop totally. That will help in some decision making and all that. So I mean, eating right is key. Some people feed their kids whatever.
Right, and it's complex.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to circle back on.
And I know it ain't no magic bullet.
No, it's not.
I get that.
It's not. So. But this data is so important, and this lived experience, this update, gives us a roadmap.
Yes.
Right. It helps us to think and be bold in this moment. You look at the initiatives that this administration has already bought in. The Green Grocer Program. So the health department, through a health and all policies approach, can touch every city department to help guide policy, to help guide ordinances, to bring in lived experiences, to advocate, to provide data, to bring in grant funding. So those are ways that the health department, but first we needed a baseline. We needed to say the people are still not as well as they could be. And what are we going to do with this administration?
And I'm praying for you. You're not a doctor. I got to call you Dr. Stewart. But I'm praying for you because a lot of the data that we have and that we're using is quantitative. And it's hard to really manage qualitative data, in terms of measuring outcomes. And those outcomes having an impact on what we need to have happen. So, I mean, it's a lot on it.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about that. And if we look at our lives as a business, what can we do, or do you assist in someone creating a good business plan?
for the person, right?
Right, for the person.
Right.
Because you are a business.
I think that's why this work is so important, because you go in, you get the data, you get the lived experience, you see what you did, you see what you didn't do, and then you come up with the plan, right? The community health improvement plan, which is the complement to this assessment, gives us some strategy.
That's the
Yeah,
bond.
we need to have some short-term, short-range goals
Goals and long term.
and
Well,
long-term
and
goals.
to your point, I think a lot of people don't understand the seeds that they sow in their life right now as it relates to their physical health will affect something you mentioned earlier, which is quality of life. You know, I look at people that are in their 70s and 80s, and you could tell there's a contrasting view about how people move. Ives Edwards, where is he at? Ives, how old are you? Yeah. 86. My man moving.
Yes.
He's moving.
I
You
show
can't-
up every weekend.
You can't slow eyes down for nothing. But I'm saying, I mean, obviously, you know, of course, they were built different back then. But he took some he took some precautions to make sure that he could have a level of success physically, in terms of your mind, in terms of being, you know, he's independent. He drives. He gets here. You know, he's something like security around here. Don't mess
he
with
is
him.
security.
Hey, don't start none, won't be none.
So I would like to know more about the comprehensive health assessment and improvement plan.
Yes.
And you said that there was one done in 2018.
Yes.
And so is this currently ongoing? Are we still in the cycle of finding information? And what can you tell us about our future from now to 2029 and how those results are going to affect our day-to-day life as Detroiters?
Right. So in 2018, that was pre-pandemic. The Detroit Health Department led a study to understand the health status of the community. The health status of the community pre-pandemic looked a lot different than it does today, right? So the work was disrupted. We came back in 2025, and the state gave us a tranche of money, and they said, what's happening in Detroit? Are the buildings still there? Are buildings shuttered? Where are the community assets? So this work takes us into 2029, and it gives us a roadmap, if you will, on 4 specific areas that the residents identified that were most important to their quality of life. That's your access to health care, that's your access to healthy food, chronic conditions that have been plaguing us for generations, and then mental and behavioral health, environmental justice. So all of these factors, again, that go to the quality life needed to be updated because we didn't know where we were as the health status of our city as a whole. So this work, again, takes us into 2029. It gives us some strategies to build out community, connect with the faith-based community, just to really be strategic in trying to close the gaps and some things that we can, the low-hanging fruit,
Right.
The long-term, the short-term, we've got some indication of where we can go.
If we have a studio audience question, your
Yes.
name and
My name is Glenda McGatney, and probably before any of you all were born, I got my degree as Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology.
Before Ed too?
From the Green School. But a lot of things are changing in Washington. We have someone over the health department who has no medical background, Kennedy. And things are changing. Nurses now, they're saying they're no longer going to be considered as professionals. How is that going to affect our communities when you have individuals who are working in the hospital, in the medical field, and they're not considered professionals anymore, or may not be considered?
Yeah, the feds are watching, and it's tumultuous times. But we've been trained biblically on what we do in times of tumult. Right, the workforce is going to be affected. Your health care, your family's health care is going to be affected, and that's why it's so important that the Detroit Health Department wraps around the community so that those gaps are closed. So we don't have the impact. We don't know what the long-term impact of the federal government is going to be, but we can't wait for them. So we have to be savvy in how we approach care in our community. So that's going to your faith-based community, that's coming to Dabo, that's understanding that we have to be the proprietors of our own health with assistance from governing entities like the health department. So our idea is to wrap around those services and fill in those gaps, if that helps to answer the question.
Well, no profession is getting paid what they should be paid. Let's be real about it.
Yeah, and
It's
if I can say this, I think it goes back. You know, I get on my soapbox. Y'all got to vote.
Your soapbox.
And what I say about voting is, even though everybody in here votes, we got to get our kids votes. Voting, that 18 to 40 demographic. I mean, we got to pray, but we got to actually get them to vote. Now, not just getting them to vote, telling them why they need to vote, what their vote connects them to. And so what happens is they're getting these big old medical bills. They're getting all this different stuff because they didn't vote. They don't understand the connection. You got to be able to find, the Bible says, he who wins souls is wise. We're trying to win these souls of voting. So we got to find a connection to somebody, whatever their interest is, if it's health benefits, if it's school loans, if it's, if they're gun advocates, whatever. Right. We need to get them to understand, listen, in order for you to maximize the opportunities that you have for yourself and the people that you love, you need to come do that. And all of us, I mean, I got grandkids now. I got a grandbaby 16. So that means in 2 years, she's going to be voting. Right. So I'm telling her responsibility and why it's her responsibility. Folks, they don't even know the three branches of government.
Right.
But they could tell you about Gucci, Prada, Louis, the last purse that came out, standing in line for all this stuff. So again, our priorities are mixed up. And then the most valuable things that we need in terms of our self and personal development, we're missing out on because you mentioned it too. We're not voting.
Well, you know what? And I'm going to put it on parents because it's our duty to teach our children and the community's duty to teach our children because what they're not taught, they don't know. So it's up to us to educate them as to what life really is about.
And Ed, if I could say this as a parent, don't be telling y'all kids. I said it. Don't be telling y'all kids. Don't be telling y'all kids, do as I say, not as I do. Don't be telling them to go vote and you don't vote.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't vote, you have no say-so on what you get.
And that's so important, especially to this work. What a difference leadership makes.
Yeah.
So voting is so important because this plan does not move without the community, and it does not move without legislators, policymakers. So we can put all the best plans. We've got the data, we've got the lived experience. We know that we don't have enough fresh food, but if we don't have an advocate in Washington and at the state level, then this is all futile.
They don't vote, and then Tiffany they're gonna be talking. We need to protest. We need to march.
Hey, Dave, I'm gonna put it real blunt. If politicians work for you, you don't work for them. They don't get to dictate what the boss gets. And if you're going to vote, then you become the boss. So you decide what they're supposed to do. And if they don't do it, then you fire them. It's that simple as you can put it.
All right. I got off my I think
well,
you want to add something to this before I close this part out? Not the whole segment, but just this voting thing. I don't want to be no voting campaign.
I voted. I voted Monday.
Well, thank you for voting Monday, Ed. We know that you are on point, and we know that this is a very important election, and we definitely need to have conversation about politics that we were told never to talk about. You know, from that generation of people from what does it say, like 25 to 40 or something like that, 18 to 40. From that generation, there's been a gap in understanding because we got real comfortable. And we should never be comfortable or complacent. And that's just a part of my perspective. I think we need to wake up the ancestors in us because there's plenty of food being given out, but then it dies in your fridge because you don't know how to eat kale. You don't know how to cook a potato. You don't even, you have a microwave. And so there are a lot of different aspects. And I know that we have a plan. How are we supposed to follow leadership? And even in dating, I'm like, you ain't got no plan. What you want to do with me? So how can we, know more about the plan? And also we have a question from the audience. So by all means, but my next topic and question really is about the plan to address the concerns.
Yes. And that's a great question. And that's where we're at in this process. I told you we got the data. We heard from residents, we don't need you to come back and study us anymore. Lived experience. What we wanted to do is make sure that this community health assessment was Detroit proper. basically the life expectancy of a Detroit resident is 69 years old versus the state average of 78. You asked me, Ed, why I got into this work, because that's abysmal. Okay.
Right.
I like the words you're using today.
Hey,
Abysmal.
you know, so it's a tragedy that if you're a Detroit resident, you're most likely, so look at your age. How close are you to 69? Okay. How far away from you from 69? And then look at the state average. So building out coalitions, building out health collaboratives, looking at community assets, looking at our faith-based community. Our current administration is embedding a health and all policies into all of city government. That's a pretty bold, important start. So your government, your community, your family, your schools. We put this work into action because without faith, without works, Lord, you know what it is.
Faith without works is dead.
It's not, we have to put the work. So now we are putting together a health collaborative. We are putting together resources. We have the support of this administration. We have platforms like this, and we have community who wants to be helped.
Our city administration, she talking about y'all, not the national one. Go ahead with your question.
I'm Miss Carol. How you doing?
Hi, Miss Carol.
Listen, this is my problem. My son, my grandson, didn't have insurance, but we didn't know it because we thought that the insurance he had was like ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to have like gallbladder, I think I'm saying it right, surgery. I almost lost him. And so we had to go to, I said, well, let's go to receiving because he was like, like balled up like this. And I didn't even know what to do. And so when I took him, they said he had to have emergency surgery and I could just go home. So I'm at receiving, right? I didn't know what was going on.
Ms. Kurt, we got 30 seconds, so get to your question,
I'm about
please.
to tell you.
Yeah.
How do we fix this? Even though we voting for people, they got bad commercials on one person.
Yes.
Then they come back with the good commercials. They come back with the bad things about these people. You don't know who to vote for. We just got to be careful, and we don't. And then what we voting for?
All right.
What they gonna do?
Ms. Carol, I'm gonna try to ask you a question. So what you're saying is we don't have all the information that we need. So ladies and gentlemen, everybody say Google.
Google.
So what I need y'all to do, if y'all don't have computers at home, come up here. We're gonna Google. We'll figure out what we need to find out about these folks so we could be some informative voters. We got like 20 seconds left. Tiffany, can you give us your elevator speech?
Yes, a community health assessment is our roadmap. A community health improvement plan is going to be put in place. We need feedback. The health department is here to serve. It is your health department. Let's pray. Let's put this works with this faith, and let's rise higher and healthier.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Dr. Stewart. We'll be right back right after this.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey, reminding you that the gubernatorial primary is Tuesday, August 4th. We'll nominate candidates for governor, U.S. Congress, and other state and local offices. Return your absentee ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. You may also vote on Election Day at your polling place. To learn more, call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Your future is in your hands.
Wednesdays are made for Jazzy Nights at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, July 22nd. Get ready for Jonathan Butler Live. With special guest Kiko Masui. Then July 29th, PJ Morton with Jay Brown. Tickets for this show and the full Jazzy Night season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com and the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
Hello, I'm Reverend Horace Sheffield. My friend Dr. John Lippman has spent the last 30 years helping women suffering from fibroids. I've seen his passion for this work firsthand at his center in Atlanta. Now, Dr. Lippman and Dr. Philip Adler are bringing that mission to Detroit through EMOD Fibroid Centers offering uterine fibroid embolization, or UFE, a proven non-surgical option to treat fibroids. Call 248-793-5249 or visit emodgefibroidcenters.com to learn more.
This is Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey reminding you that a gubernatorial primary is scheduled for Tuesday, August the 4th. We will be nominating candidates for offices of governor, U.S. Senate, U.S. House, and other state and local offices. If you're voting by absentee, return your ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. Early voting begins Saturday, July 25th through Sunday, August 2nd at any of our 8 early vote centers from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You may also vote on Election Day at your polling place from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And join us at our Get Out to Vote block party on July 25th at 2978 West Grand Boulevard from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to kick off early voting. For more information, visit detroitmi.gov/elections or call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Your future is in your hands.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake-up call.
Hey.
With Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up. Let the truth be told. The wake-up call.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Wake Up Call this beautiful Saturday. Thank you for joining us. You are tuned in live with the Wake Up Call with Horace Sheffield and friends. Right now, it's just friends. Horace Sheffield is not with us today. We would also like to reiterate that your gubernatorial primary is Tuesday, August 4th, and your vote matters more than ever. We'll nominate candidates for governor and other congressional, state, and local offices. Please return your absentee ballot right away. So you can do that by mail, drop box, or the Department of Elections, or you can vote on Election Day at your polling place. So ride the DDOT buses to the polls for free. To learn more, please call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Our future is in our hands.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please govern yourselves accordingly. If you're having a good time, put your hands together. All right, our next guest is Dr. Kelvin S. Freeman, Director of Detroit Health Department's Emergency Preparedness, Bioterrorism, and Cities Readiness Initiatives.
Got that one.
It's a mouthful.
All right. So the topic is, who is the Office of Public Health Emergency Preparedness? Who are you all? Welcome to the show, Dr. Freeman.
Thank you. Glad to be here. We are we're standing on the foundation of people that come before us.
Okay.
So for emergency preparedness and bioterrorism, what we do and who we are individuals. That's better. Okay. We are individuals that we plan and try to mitigate anything that happens from our strategic planning. So we work with Detroit Homeland Security Emergency Management. We work with BC. There are some topical areas that are come through our threat analysis, and we write plans, and we also mitigate, and we practice on those plans to ensure that everyone is safe as much as possible from a chemical, biological, nuclear, and radiological outlines.
So all that stuff goes on in the city of Detroit?
So much so that it does not hit the news. So I guess we're doing our job well.
So given the unplanned emergencies such as COVID and the current smoke alert we're currently facing, how does your office address these type of crises?
That is a great question. We are hands-on every single day. As of this morning, I got here a little bit later because my department is the one that actually pushes the message to every Detroiter. That's part of the Detroit Alert 365. So we push the message. We actually do our research. We work with EPA. We work with BC. We see what is going on, and we try to make sure that the notification goes out as much and as fast as possible.
So respectfully, Dr. Freeman, we know that EPA is the Environmental Protection Agency.
Yes, sir.
BC is Building Safe. I tell everybody what BCD is. They don't know what the acronym is.
Okay, BC is the Building Safety Engineering and Department.
Yep,
so,
there we go.
There are individuals that we work with that do the actual air monitoring, and they control and they analyze the data that we use to send out to the Detroiters every single day.
Wow, Ed.
I'm laughing because I can easily see that our government leadership, federal government leadership, will consider us being under bioterrorist attack from Canada, and they got something hidden in the smoke, and we should have had windmills to blow it back, but we're against windmills. So you laughing, but there are a lot of things that come out of conspiracy theories that will reflect that same type of thought.
As of this morning, actually, looking at some messages that came from the White House, the Prime Minister and from our government is actually pointing the finger and saying how things can be done over here. This is for maybe the last 2 or 3 years. We have been dealing with this every summer. And every summer it's getting worse and worse. Not only we're looking at the Canadian wildfires, but things that's coming from other states is pulling our way. And as you can see this morning, it has been a total 180 from what we were in the maroon, which is a 301 AQI. AQI means the air quality index. We had got as high as almost 590, almost 600, 700 readings. This morning it was reading at 63. So the thing about air quality, it's a pendulum. It can swing, it can come in. So if you look at the message this morning, it says, yes, we might be moderate, but today and tomorrow, the forecast is to go right back up. So I don't want everyone just to go outside and have fun. Make sure you do it safely.
I have my boy.
Don't go outside.
It's our I went to Redford. It was our weekend, our alumni weekend. So we had something on Thursday. Yesterday they said we're gonna be at Bird smoking cigars. I was like, I don't smoke anyway, but I'm like, y'all think that's a good look then, under current circumstances.
Now, let me ask you this. Are we going to consider the wildfires that we have every year in California a bioterrorist attack?
That is a great question. And I see that as something as environmental hazards. No matter where it's coming from, you can actually call it tit for tat, Canada to here and then we up there. It's actually a cycle of what's the best words to say of just the time of the year.
Well, we're being considered as radical left-wing terrorists now. That you could be arrested. You could be arrested after being labeled as such.
So yeah, and after I'll let Sabrina go and I'll ask my question. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Okay, now this is interesting because I'm just now learning about the Office of Public Health and Emergency Preparedness. I'm learning more about the health department. And then earlier, even still, we had a psychologist from DNC on. So all of you have interconnected work here. I want to know more about, and from what I understand, your office alerts people to what's going on. Okay. So what communication mechanisms are you using to inform residents? And what are some of the examples?
So I would like to make sure that everybody that's listening, if you are not linked into the Detroit Alerts 365, which is ran off the Crisis 24 platform that we actually use from Detroit Homeland Security Emergency Management, I'm asking everyone to go to detroitmi.gov right now and go to the search bar, search for Detroit Alerts 365, and then it will take you down and you can actually sign up and receive alerts. These alerts just not from the health department, the Detroit Water Sewage Department. Actually, you can get things from the National Weather Service, police, public safety. A lot of our entities have mechanisms to push, but it's only an opt-in system because, we always say Big Brother is watching and you don't want to make sure that something can push to your phone. How did the government get to my phone? So now the regulations are you have to opt in.
So can you give us that website again?
DetroitMI.gov, search for Detroit Alerts 365 and sign up to receive.
All right, Leverett.
Yeah. Dr. Freeman, what is the response time for bioterrorism? Like if you have a chemical spill that is affecting the city, what is the response time?
So in reference, when we're talking about a bioterrorism, you got to see if it's a naturally occurring or it has a nefarious attack. So if it's something that has a nefarious attack, we work directly with the Counter Weapons of Mass Destruction Delegate with the FBI here in the city. We also work with our EPA and our other agencies. Response time varies depending on what the agent is, because sometimes it's the temperature, it's the time of day, where the sun is setting, the wind is blowing. So there's so many things that factor in how do we respond to a actual attack and or chemical. Again, we do chemical, biological, nuclear, radiological. We used to have explosives, but now ATF has taken that because they are the professionals for that. But it can vary. But I will tell you that we do practice all of our plans, and we do look and see how can we make our response times better. I can say since I've been here, and I'm not a native of Detroit. I've been here for 4 years, originally from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. But I will say that every year we have gotten incrementally better in our response time.
So with that being said, we know we have bio spills where hazmat may come out and things of that nature. Tell us the difference between a normal spill and bioterrorism. When I think of bioterrorism, I think of us preventing our water from being poisoned or air type scenario that they use, that type of stuff. Is that tell us the difference? Because it's, if you have a spill, they may send the fire department, depending on whatever the spill is. I know you got to look at the little things I took one of them classes or whatever back in the day, so you can know how to address it. But tell the difference between just a bio or hazardous spill versus the terrorism part.
Everything is down to intent. What's the intent? As hazards happen, and they can have a accident where you can be on a farm somewhere and you can have anhydrous ammonia. That's something that happens almost daily or on a routine, I would say. And that's something that we can see, you know what, the intent was, it was a misnomer, someone backed into something and, it was released. But the attack comes into where it's intentional and deliberate. And that's where the nefarious part comes into. And that's where law enforcement comes in to say, was this by accident or was this intentional? And then looking at the individual and sometimes the manifestos that are there that we can see, it can really boil down to what is really the intent. Again, chemical diesel spills, chlorine releases, things happen all the time. But the thing is, we have so many great partners that most of them you don't even see it on the news because we really do our job and we work well, not just us, but with our partners.
So you have investigators that go and determine whether it was terrorism, and then y'all just leave and let the regular people take care of it?
So in about 2018, we were always called the Public Health Emergency Preparedness and Response. About 2018, the response part has deciphered because now we work with emergency management. So when something actually happens, we are no longer the first ones on the scene, but we are there to make sure for chemical prophylaxis. So if you have something where individuals need to have cyclodoxy-amoxicillin, we can pull some things to it. But the thing is, for us, it's really down to intent. And for us, we don't go on scene. We leave the professionals, leave the law enforcement, fire department. They come and say, hey, Kelvin, this is what we got going on, and we help.
Gerald, I'm laughing because you got to be a doctor to pronounce all these words he's saying.
And I was halfway joking, but I was serious about what I said earlier. Now, and Dave brought up the point about water systems. This is probably before you guys' time, but there was a movie called 3 the Hard Way, where they attack through the water systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, in a case like that, are you in constant monitoring these type of events? Are you monitoring the water? Or it could be a computer attack, and that could be considered a biological because of AI now.
Correct. So looking at the different types of attacks, so you have the natural, then you have the man-made disasters, which is those that you're talking about, the cyber attacks.
Yeah.
When it comes to environmental, we work with those environmental entities. So we at our health department, we have the environmental health, food safety. That's also looking at different things of that nature that we work in collaboration with. But it's for us for bioterrorism, or really for public health preparedness, it's a catch-all, something we call an all hazards. So anything is an all hazards approach that fall within us. We work with those entities, but we do help facilitate the process to come to it.
So you really had a part to play in this last attack. I'm gonna say it's an attack with the bacteria in lettuce.
In the lettuce.
Yeah, in the lettuce.
So for informing and looking at that particular bacteria,
yeah,
especially how we're seeing between Ohio and Michigan are some of the highest cases that are out of the 34 states that has been affected at this current moment. Yes, we have an actual hand in it. We have daily calls, we have weekly calls of how to make sure people stay safe and how to make sure, wash your fruits and vegetables, even potatoes, and making sure if you can eat vegetables and fruit, sometimes you have to go the frozen route right now. We actually are putting out that information and education to people to say, these are ways to protect yourself while we see this die down.
Sabrina, and then we'll take our audience guests.
Sure thing. You were talking about the partnerships that your department actually has and ways to get word out about different aspects of tragedies or non-nefarious natural occurrences. How do you actually protect the vulnerable populations? One thing about the smoke, I have kids, and I looked up how to make a box fan filter, and the different aspects of just really, this is sometimes the stuff we don't even know how to deal with. So how do we protect ourselves in those situations where we're unfamiliar?
So our main purpose is to make sure that the citizens of Detroit gets the most information and the most current information as fast as possible. So to make sure that we do that, we are actually monitoring. We monitor every single day, Monday through Friday. Anything that happens on the weekend, we do have special occasions. So one thing that you can do is always reach out to us and say, hey, you know what? I have a special group, or we call sensitive groups, our elderly, the children, those that have COPD, heart conditions. What are some ways that we can make sure that they're being notified? I want you to go to our website, to our health department website. We post so many things on our social media. We give education. Many people are like, you know what? I didn't know about the air quality. Well, the day before it hit, if you looked on social media and on our website, we pushed it out that this was coming. So if you look on our website, we have a lot of educational reels. We do platforms, we do posts just to make sure that we're always current. So for anyone that's looking at that, and part of emergency preparedness is we make sure that we have special population education. So just reach out to us and we can actually help you. And we can go to your community and grassroots.
Hey man, this is a bad brother. Y'all put your hands together for Dr. Freeman. He a real doctor. All right, Ms. Ross.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Rosalind Jackson, and I do have a question about the air quality.
Okay.
Because yesterday I felt like a prisoner in my own home. And I would like to know, there are some buildings that they were saying that they could smell it inside the building and it was coming in. And so you don't need to be concerned about that if you have your doors closed and your windows closed and you are not exposing yourself to any of that coming in. Would you say that that's not a real concern in your own home? Because I didn't go out on the porch. I could still got my storm windows in. I didn't put no screens in yet.
Right.
And I'm afraid that because I'm 75 years old, I don't have
You
no
75?
yeah,
What
right.
you
I don't
say?
have no
Right.
real concerns, about my health, except I got some bad knees. But other than that, I just want to make sure that if I do come outside, because I love to sit on my porch.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm ticked off that I'm not
Okay.
able to.
Ask your question one more time, Ms.
I,
Jackson.
I just asked
One more time so he'll know.
because I want to know, is that a real concern if you don't have your screens in and windows up and doors open and all of that? The chance of that seeping into your home, should you be worried about that? Because I know it was coming into certain buildings. People had to get off work because it was so strong. So I just like to know.
That is a true concern.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
And I will say this, it's a three-part answer. First part is depending on how your HVAC system and how it pulls in from the outside. Some can circulate and you can look at your filters and change your filters more regularly. Others, you don't have that choice. It's just going to come in. And for those that have that type of HVAC system, we do recommend that you go and get some type of air purifiers from Walmart, from Home Depot, certain things that you can look at the size and the square footage of the room that you're in to help purify your air. But I will say that if you are in an area and you do have your windows open, especially when it's hazardous, and I want everyone to go to airnow.gov. Airnow.gov.
Wait, spell that.
Air is A-I.
That's that North Carolina.
AIRNOW.gov. It's by our Eagle and also with EPA. You can put in your zip code and you'll see a color system. Right now we're at yellow. Yellow is right by green, which is moderate. For the last couple of days, we have been maroon, which is called hazardous. If you look at the messaging, it didn't say limit. It says just do not go outside because the particulate matter that you're looking at when you're inhaling it, it's almost like you're smoking at this point. There are different, monitors and different areas. People saying, 10 minutes is 1.5 cigarettes, packs of cigarettes with unfiltered. It's so much stuff that you're consuming. But one, if you can get to see what type of HVAC system that you have, to change your filters more regularly, go to a place and get some. Maybe it's one of your hardware stores or areas to get a air purifier for your home. And then also just make sure if you do not have to be outside when it's maroon and hazardous, please stay indoors.
HVAC, ladies and gentlemen, that's your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. All that stuff you got at home. Hey, how are you? Give us your name and your question, please.
Good morning. My name is Sheila.
Oh, Sheila.
I know. And I'm not Sheila E. So don't look for me down at
Look for her at the concert of colors.
At the concert of colors. But anyway, So you're saying that only if we register, we'll get the advance notices or whatever? Because I think we get our notices late, and if you get them at all, I live not far from downtown, so yes, if your windows are shut and you don't have your windows open and whatever, it's seeping in. It seeps in. And then we are older homes, so we have fireplaces. Oh, it's seeping in. We can smell it inside our homes. My daughter lives in Farmington Hills, and they called me to say they smell it out there, seeping in their homes. And when she goes outside, she said her nose is burning, and she's Farmington Hills. So I'm just saying, I don't think we get the notices or make them let us really know what's going on with these notices.
Correct.
Because we got a lot of children with asthma.
Bronchitis.
We got a lot of seniors with asthma now.
Yeah.
Correct.
That didn't get it till they were like 65, 70 years old. So we want to monitor our own health.
I'm glad that you brought that up. So,
And we want to know about these fruits and vegetables that all of a sudden we can't eat the fruits and vegetables.
well, I would say
what's
this,
going on?
that, even though you can go to airnow.gov, there are multiple different areas, and I'll try to share all of them with you. You don't have to wait for us to receive it. Most of these type of monitoring tools, you can sign up yourself and you can receive it before it hits, and we can send it out. I ask everyone, if you have an Android or iPhone, which typically you do, your phone, if you go to your weather, it will notify you about the air quality on your own phone before we can even give it to you.
Yep.
So I would just behoove anyone and everyone to make sure that not only can you go to adnow.gov, not only can you look at your phone, you can sign up for these notifications and you can receive it when we receive it. And one thing that I ask everyone, even with the Detroit Alerts 365, our media friends are on it. So people's like, I just saw it on the news. Well, if you have signed up as well, you will get it when the news.
So give us that information again about opting in. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention. Give us a website, please, sir.
The website
and the directions
is DetroitMI.gov. Search for Detroit Alerts 365 and then sign to receive your notifications. We want to make sure that we have as many people as possible. When I first started, we had about 4,000, 3,000 people signed up. Out of 650,000 people, we're barely getting to that 7,000 to 8,000. We don't even really have just barely 1% of our population that's receiving it. So if you would be able to opt in, you will be able to receive what the news and others receive at the same time.
So if y'all have social media, try to put that on your social media, spread it out, let your loved ones and family and friends know.
I want to address something that a couple of our audience questions related to your home. All home, in fact, no home is airtight, period. So the less you have, because you're going to have outside air coming in. Airtight home, you can't live in, period. So when they suggest that you don't go outside because that increases your amount of exposure. When it comes to your home, it's very much diluted as to what's going outside. It's not nowhere near as strong, so you can smell it, but it will not affect you as much as going outside. So if you're in your home and you open your windows, you let more smoke in. It's simple as that. So when they tell you stay in your house, because that's the safest place to be. A lot of our senior citizens, we remember the air raid drills. We used to go in the hallway at your school and sit down in the hallway. That didn't mean you were going to be protected completely from a bomb, but it offered the best protection available at the time.
All right, Sabrina.
Well, actually, we have a audience question.
Hey, Miss Kathy.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I wanted to know, since we're having this problem, will there be a program implemented where they can get free or low-cost filters and air purifiers?
Actually, there are several programs that I would actually be able to try to send to the news station. That there are some out there that you can actually receive free or reduced air filters for your home. Again, we have to make sure that there is a criteria, because if not, we put it out there to everyone, and we only have a limited supply. And we being, I'm talking about the collective of people to help.
Crackheads to be selling them if you give them out to them.
We could try to.
It's amazing. I'll be thinking stuff and Ed says it.
Those type of resources with you. That way you can look at it. And also, you also need to look at your home and the square footage, because the air purifiers are only as best for the rooms that they're set and designed to filter through.
Well, most seniors only go through a few rooms in their houses anyway. So if they could get them for like the room that they sit in the most.
There you go.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, but if it's gonna happen to us, at least help us with low cost or no cost equipment so that we can live.
Correct.
And I wanted to know what is gonna happen after this? Because there's always a disease that comes after this. So what do we have to look forward to? Is there a shot or anything
Oh,
else?
Doc,
that's
they
gonna
got you,
come
Doc.
along with it?
What's the mesothelioma coming for us?
Yeah, or the cyclosporin after this. What's going on? What do we need to do next?
What you really need to do next is always pay attention to what's coming out and what we're pushing out for our education. We can only send what's coming across our meters and our monitors. I will say this, that, we have been, I don't know if anyone else can think about this, but we have not just been attacked once. We're always doing concurrent things. So not only are we dealing with air quality, we're also dealing with what's going on with our fruits and vegetables. It's also dealing with those that's flying back, and those are things that's Ebola that's going on over there. We got so many pieces. If I showed you what we be working on,
Right.
it's like a spider web of things. That
Yeah,
we're
and
working
Kathy, I think you're gonna be good. If you see Dr. Fauci, then just run. If you see, go ahead, take your question.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Since we're talking about air quality, I thought I'd bring this up about those who are smokers or even smokers of cigarettes or marijuana. I'm an avid bus rider.
Mhm.
And a lot of times at the bus stops, people are smoking marijuana or smoking their cigarettes. Multiple people, which will cause me to have to go far down to try to get away from them, and I still can't escape it. And I have asthma, and it's happening more and more. And surely people should have the right to do it, but because you smoke doesn't mean I should have to.
Correct.
So I think that should be addressed because it's inconveniencing and it makes me ill and it makes me sick. And sometimes I have to disrupt my travels because now I'm in threat of having an asthma attack because they're out here smoking.
Yeah, unfortunately, people that smoke marijuana in public, that's illegal, not cigarettes. But
I would say you can always advocate to your administration, make sure things can be changed on that sense. I will say this for air quality to answer that question. Not only has you seen individuals, I don't know anyone that know, but our rec centers have masks that have been pushed to those areas. You can actually go to your rec centers through DDOT on certain locations. Those have been posted as well. That you can go there and get those masks, especially for those that have to ride outside and you're going through that mode of transportation. But I would say just always make sure that you be an advocate through the correct channels through your administration to see if things can be changed.
and get an N95, please. Don't get the paper mask. Get an N95 mask when you go to catch the bus or whatever the case is, and you have it. If they're smoking and you can't get away, that I'm not gonna say it's gonna resolve the whole issue, but it would help. So it won't affect your quality of life to that extent.
Can I just say one thing about N95?
You can say whatever you want to say, Doc. You the man.
I want to make sure that everyone is understanding the different types of masks. You talk about the N95s, the KN95s. You also have the N100s. There's certain things. That number is what's talking about how much it can filter through. I will make sure if you're having a mask, make sure that it's not soiled. Make sure it doesn't get wet. Make sure if you're going to change it, if you're in a healthcare facility, I will just make sure that we just discourage from surgical mask outside. You want something that's well-fitting with the highest filtration, and surgical masks are just not.
So surgical masks are the paper ones that I just said, the ones you just put over your face and you're blue and and then you keep using it over and over again as thin as toilet paper, and you think, this is anointed. The Lord is going to bless me with this. Sabrina, go ahead.
Dr. Freeman.
I'm sorry.
Dr. Freeman, what I've come to understand from your visit to us today is that your department is in charge of communicating public biohazardous issues to the community. And one thing I've noticed for sure is that with 650,000 people that are accounted for in the city of Detroit, you're saying there are less than 7,000 of those people that are signed up for alerts. Everybody in here have a cell phone? Just out of curiosity. Everybody, put your hand up if you got a cell phone. Did everybody know that Chris Brown was in town last week? Okay, so you have an effective way to be alerted about these things. We have to take them seriously.
Absolutely.
So do you see that being an issue?
Yes, and I want to make sure if we have everybody as much as signed up, this will help you receive this information. I tell you, even though we're not 9 to 5, we'll be working almost 24/7, but we're trying to make sure we get the information to you as soon as possible.
All right, we got to go. You got 20 seconds to give us your elevator speech. And what we're going to do is get all this information and put on our Dabo website, and we'll put it on our social media platforms and everything so everybody can have it so we can remove the excuse. 20 seconds, sir.
Preparedness is not just the time that you need to look at when something's happening. Now is the time to prepare and be proactive. Have a plan, practice your plan, know where the resources are. And if you don't, ask the questions and come and see where you can go. And honestly, everyone, Detroit Alerts 365, go to detroitmi.gov, search for Detroit Alerts 365 and sign up.
All right, we'll be right back right after this. Thank you,
You've
sir.
been listening to
Here's the wake up call.
Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey reminding you that the gubernatorial primary is Tuesday, August 4th. We'll nominate candidates for governor, U.S. Congress, and other state and local offices. Return your absentee ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. You may also vote on Election Day at your polling place. To learn more, call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Your future is in your hands.
Wednesdays are made for Jazzy Nights at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, July 22nd. Get ready for Jonathan Butler live. With special guest Kiko Masui. Then July 29th, PJ Morton with Jay Brown. Tickets for this show and the full Jazzy Night season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
Hello, I'm Reverend Horace Sheffield. My friend Dr. John Littman has spent the last 30 years helping women suffering from fibroids. I've seen his passion for this work firsthand at his center in Atlanta. Now, Dr. Littman and Dr. Philip Adler are bringing that mission to Detroit through EMOJ Fibroid Centers offering uterine fibroid embolization, or UFE, a proven non-surgical option to treat fibroids. Call 248-793-5249 or visit emojfibroidcenters.com to learn more.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey reminding you that a gubernatorial primary is scheduled for Tuesday, August the 4th. We will be nominating candidates for offices of governor, U.S. Senate, U.S. House, and other state and local offices. If you're voting by absentee, return your ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. Early voting begins Saturday, July 25th through Sunday, August 2nd at any of our 8 early vote centers from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You may also vote on Election Day at your polling place from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And join us at our Get Out to Vote block party on July 25th at 2978 West Grand Boulevard from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to kick off early voting. For more information, visit detroitmi.gov/elections or call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Your future is in your hands.
You've been listening to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's the wake up call.
Wake it up. Wake it up.
Reverend Horace Sheffield, rise up, wake up.
Wake it up.
Let the truth be told. The wake up call.
All right. We are back with our last segment. We are having a good time. Y'all having a good time?
We
We're
are.
getting some really good representation here. The city is doing a great job, and we have a read.
We sure do. And Janice Winfrey just told you, and I'm going to tell you again, and we're going to tell you a few more times until you get it through. This is so important. Our gubernatorial primary is when? Tuesday, August 4th. Your vote matters now more than ever. We'll nominate candidates for governor and other congressional, state, and local offices. Return your absentee ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. Or vote on election day at your local polling place that you are assigned to. You can ride the DDOT buses to the polls for free. To learn more, please call area code 313-876-VOTE and let your voice be heard and vote. The future is in our hands.
All right. So we are in our last segment here, and we have with us Dr. Ben Clayton Jr. is the chair of the Health and Wellness for the 100 Black Men of Greater Detroit, and I'm happy to have this brother here. He's a good brother. I used to dunk on him when we was in high school. He went to
Wow.
he went to
Took it right there.
He went to Northwestern, and we played the same league when we were in high school. But he's a good brother. Not only is he the chair, he has a wealth of knowledge and experience. I mean, both professionally, personally, he's a pastor, just a good brother, Renaissance man, has a book out, When Heaven Moves, on Humanity and Humanity Responds. He didn't ask me to plug that, but just a good brother. But today he's here to talk about the Man Up, Better Health event that's going to be taking place, their health fair on August 1st. Welcome to the show, Dr. Clayton. And first of all, tell us about the 100 Black Men and what is the mission of the 100 Black Men in Metropolitan Detroit, Greater Detroit?
Yeah, so the 100 Black Men of Greater Detroit is the Detroit chapter of the 100 Black Men of America, right? So I like to say that what we do, our mission is to remove.
You gotta come close.
Okay. Our mission is to remove the baggage that keep young people from being successful, right? And so we do that by influencing their education, awareness, financial awareness, health and wellness awareness, and through mentorship.
And that mentorship, I know we have a 99%, is that 99%, Charles? Excuse me, 100%. 100%
right.
graduation rate of young people
Nice.
graduating. So we grab them in 8th, 9th grade, follow them all the way till they graduate. All right, Ed?
Yes, I realize the existence of health crisis in Black men in the United States, period. And part of it is Black women. Y'all stress us out. But all kidding aside, health is an issue.
Yep.
So, we are affected not only by diabetes, which is our diets. We have alcohol addiction, drug addiction. Those things affect us. So what can we as Black men do to prolong our lives so we provide the Black manship to our communities for a longer period of time?
Right. So a couple of things. I was listening to some of your previous guests earlier, discussing mental health awareness, or I call it a crisis, right, within our community. And so just being conversation and an education, right? So we have to make it popular to be healthy, right? And that's one of the things that especially with Black men, right? So that's one, going back to Willie Lynch, and and that's one of the conversations that we have to be aware of. Like, this is a thing, right? Health equity within the Black community is a thing, right? Being exposure to equal health quality, right, is a thing, right? The whole conversation of what being a man is a thing, right? You just spoke about the women, we say that, tongue in cheek, but that is a thing though, right? The thing about being a man, when you're in there was a condition that was set up to say that you're less than, right? And so now being in that construct, and so what we have to do is saying that, it doesn't make you more of a man to work through your pain.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't make you a stronger man can go to the doctor without being looked at as being weak. right? A man can check on his health. He can get his numbers. He can go to his appointments. He can do some preventive maintenance, right, on himself. He can be a good steward of his health without being emasculated, right? And so that's part of the challenges that we have, right? I was part of a study with Dr. Neighbors, Man Up, Man Down study. And at a university, it was Michigan State at the time. I think it's in Michigan now. And that was the thing, right? We had this work group where we discussed, why Black men don't go to the doctor, right? And that is part of the conversation, the masculinity piece, right? Like, okay, we are men, we're strong Black men, and our pain threshold is a metric of how manly I am, right? And so we have to get beyond that conversation and make it cool to be truly healthy.
Well, I'm gonna say this: a lot of people won't be happy with what I'm getting ready to say.
Right,
because as a Black man, we have a lot of pride.
Yes.
Well, religiously, pride is a sin.
Yes.
So instead of pride, be proud of who you are.
Yes.
And that way you'll be able to address these things that we need to address to extend our lives, rather than being prideful and lying, because that's what pride is. You lie about your accomplishments and things like that. Proud, you don't have to say a word. It speaks for itself.
Yes, sir.
So what can we do to help men understand that concept?
Right. And so that's just wow, that's a loaded question, right?
It's kind of what you just said.
He
You
made
pretty
a
much
statement
answered.
and tossed it to you.
Well, I guess you kind of answered the question already in terms of trying to normalize men going to the hospital. So basically, we got to kind of flip the script. Instead of us not going and saying that we have to have a high threshold of pain and all that stuff in order to be proven a man, that we kind of change that narrative. Sabrina?
Thank you. So it's interesting you said the mission of 100 Black Men is to help to remove the baggage.
Correct.
And so these bags can be packed with a lot of stuff, right? They could be real heavy. And it's interesting, Erykah Badu had a song called Bag Lady, and she didn't say Bag Man.
Bag brother.
Bag brother
you
is a
gon'
real
hurt your
thing.
back.
Right?
Yeah.
And so my point in saying that is that it's interesting to me how diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure plague men and women, and it's so important that there is a place for men to feel there's a refuge for them to deal with these issues amongst each other. And so how do we get Black men to address these needs? How does 100 Black Men help that agenda?
Wow. Yeah. So creating a safe space, right? A community of with the same initiative, right? Creating an environment where it's okay, right? And not only just for the men, but a safe environment for the spouses, for the family, to be able to engage.
We want to feel safe so our blood pressure comes down.
Exactly.
Hello.
Right. And so giving the education not only to the man, but to his family, right? In order to help them be successful and show them that, hey, we want you around, right, a little bit longer. And so this is what it takes, right? And so the conversation can change from, okay, like we discussed earlier, from, okay, well, to be a strong man, you have to be able to endure, right? To Dad, it's okay that you're limping. Let's go to the doctor. It's okay that your stomach hurt. It's okay that you're not feeling well.
And when I ask you how you doing, don't tell me about the Lions.
Right. It's okay to tell me that you're not well.
Right.
Right.
And so I can make a doctor appointment.
So again, with him being the chair, he's aware of a lot of these issues and concerns because we're actually trying to find Resolute for people that might experience or those that we might come in contact with. So with all that being said, we got 2 minutes before we go to break. Tell us about the health fair that's going to take place on August 1st.
Yeah. So the health fair, it's an awesome event. We've been doing it. We landed on the number for about 20 years roughly. And so it's a screening, right? We're doing all these things to preventive maintenance, as I call it, right? A lot of the healthcare screen, diabetes, hypertension, things like that. In fact, every year almost we had a life is saved, right? Because somebody got some numbers that they didn't realize and learned about a problem that they didn't realize they had, right? And so the health fair this year, we moved our location over to McNichols, 24230 West McNichols. It's a great location, very family, kid friendly. A lot of parking, and it's going to be a great event. We got the health mobile that's going to be there to do, like I said, do all the screening, yoga classes. We got food, teaching, how to eat right, music, things for the kids to do. So it's going to be an awesome event. And so we just welcome the city to come on out and support that.
All right, we're going to talk more about that when we come back from break. Oh, we got 1 minute. So again, how can they get information about the health fair?
Right. So through vehicles like this, right? Also on the Instagram page, Facebook page, on our web page, 100 Black Man Detroit.org. And so you can go to the website and get all the information. And also you'll start to see us on the news, right? You'll see us on Channel 4, you'll see us on Channel 2, and other different vehicles to express.
All right. So yeah, in partnership, it would be 100 Black Men of Greater Detroit, Central City Health. We partnered there, and it's Man Up for a Better Health Fair, and it's open to the public this Saturday, August 1st, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 24230 West McNichols, Detroit, Michigan, 48219. We'll talk a little bit more about that fair and the things that they're doing in the community. We'll be right back right after this.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with
This is Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey reminding you that the gubernatorial primary is Tuesday, August 4th. We'll nominate candidates for governor, U.S. Congress, and other state and local offices. Return your absentee ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. You may also vote on Election Day at your polling place. To learn more, call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Your future is in your hands.
Wednesdays are made for Jazzy Nights at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, July 22nd. Get ready for Jonathan Butler live. With special guest Kiko Masui. Then July 29th, PJ Morton with Jay Brown. Tickets for this show and the full Jazzy Night season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
This is Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey reminding you that the gubernatorial primary is Tuesday, August 4th. Return your absentee ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. Vote at any of our early vote centers from July 25th through August 2nd, or vote on Election Day at your polling place. To learn more, call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Your future is in your hands.
Hello, I'm Reverend Horace Sheffield. My friend Dr. John Lippman has spent the last 30 years helping women suffering from fibroids. I've seen his passion for this work firsthand at his center in Atlanta. Now, Dr. Lippman and Dr. Philip Adler are bringing that mission to Detroit through EMOJ Fibroid Centers offering uterine fibroid embolization, or UFE, a proven non-surgical option to treat fibroids. Call 248-793-5249 or visit emojfibroidcenters.com to learn more.
This is Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey reminding you that a gubernatorial primary is scheduled for Tuesday, August the 4th. We will be nominating candidates for offices of governor, U.S. Senate, U.S. House, and other state and local offices. If you're voting by absentee, return your ballot right away by mail, drop box, or at the Department of Elections. Early voting begins Saturday, July 25th through Sunday, August 2nd, at any of our 8 early vote centers from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You may also vote on Election Day at your polling place from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And join us at our Get Out to Vote Block Party on July 25th at 2978 West Grand Boulevard from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to kick off early voting. For more information, visit detroitmi.gov/elections or call 313-876-VOTE. Let your voice be heard and vote. Your future is in your hands.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call.
I got it.
With Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up. Let the truth be told. The wake up call.
Hey. Ain't it funny now? All All right, y'all. We are back. We got about 10 more minutes before we get out of here, and we've been joined by former president of the 100 Black Men of Greater Detroit, Charles Felton, who happens to be my younger brother. He's a lot more handsome than I am, and
Who ain't?
look, and he went to Cass too, and other than him being my brother, that's why we still stay in the same family and all that stuff. But anyway, he's joining us as well. So Chuck, while I was on the break, someone asked me about the screenings that are going to be taking place, and they asked me would there be specifically any mental health screenings there. And why don't you talk about one of our partners, and they do some screening as it relates to mental health community. What is that? Central City.
So Central City Integrated Health will be on site.
Brother man, we're gonna have to let
Central
him
City Integrated Health will be on site at the event on August 1st. I just so happen to know someone who works there.
Do you? Who's that?
My wife is the CEO of Central City.
Oh, look at there. Shout out to Dr. Kim Farrell Felton, my sister-in-law.
So historically, there have not been BH encounters at the event, but
BH is
behavioral health.
Thank you, sir.
But since this is an issue that's come up, I will ask her if maybe we can get some folks to come out and engage with the attendees at the event.
And I'm sure in times past, we have been able to provide linkages to resources for people that are there for the other screenings. And so with that being said, who are some of the partners that will assist with the fair?
Detroit Motep Foundation, that is the Michigan Organ Transplant. I forget exactly what the acronym is, but there's a brother by the name of Dr. Reginald Denny who actually helped us start Man Up, who's a human organ transplant physician, Black man.
Mm-hmm.
He leads that organization. They'll be there. American Heart Association, Michigan Men's Health Foundation, Music by Tandem Entertainment, Bike Ride by the Grace Riders, Face Painting, complimentary food. Team Angie Fitness will be there. She always does a live fitness demonstration. She does Zumba and a couple other things. Detroit Health Department will be there. Detroit Community Health Connection will be there. And of course, our title sponsor, Central City Integrated Health, will be there as well.
Sabrina?
Interesting. You said human organ transplant physician. Now there's a new doctor that I didn't know existed for specifically human organ transplant. And that makes sense to me because that's a very vital process that needs to happen. Okay, so as far as these health fairs are concerned, we definitely have a lot of them. What makes this one different and how, because when it comes to marketing, you see in the audience, it's like, oh yeah, go vote. They hear that and it's like deaf ears, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oh, come to the fair. All right, we got this and we got that. And it's like, cool, it's another one next week. How does this one stand out? And how do you get people to really become engaged with the incredible services that you're offering?
I can answer that. Yep. And so who we're targeting, right? Understanding the need, right? And being on the ground with those who are in those needs. Like you just mentioned a MOTEP program, right? And so that's it's the minority, I'm trying to get the acronym myself. It's the Minority Organ Tissue Transplant Education, right? And so this program is designed to help those who are in between transplants, right? And so it gives education on that whole process. And because, especially in our community, we have the kidney transplants is one of the biggest things in the Black community, right? And so it's a program that reduced the dying, right, of people, just to put it plain, that are in between those procedures. So
save lives.
Right.
Reduce
and so
the
like
dying.
you just said, like, wow, there's another doctor I need to know about, right? And so there we are, right? So that's what we try to do is get this education out, like we discussed earlier, education and conversation. That's what changed the narrative on us going to the doctor and maintaining our health.
So is this a family friendly event?
Yes. Oh, we got a bounce house. We can't do nothing without the bounce house. Right?
Ain't nothing happen without that.
You gotta have a bounce house. And so we got bounce houses. We got vendors. We have local vendors, of course, want to support the city. And we also have music. We got games. We got yoga.
Is there a cost?
No, it's free.
Okay.
As you stated earlier, FREE.
That's right,
Free.
$3.99.
Free
And so,
99.
ladies and gentlemen, it would behoove you to share with the men in your life. Say, come on, mom, come on, uncle, come on, brother, come on, son, and bring them out. Well, I got to watch the kids. Bring the kids. There's really no excuse for them not to come. Hopefully, they don't have to work. But again, as was stated in one of our previous segments, health is wealth, and there are myriad of opportunities for us to go out and get resources or linkage of resources, or be in a comfortable space where you're going to see other men actually taking the initiative and being intentional about making sure that they have health. If we want to be the providers that we want to be, if we
David,
want, yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I actually have an interesting take on this because there's been a lot of conversation online for the past years about men and women and the debate against it, right? Because here I am, the only woman. I tell people I come and argue with old men on Saturdays. So it's fine though, because I like being that representation and having a different view. Where do you meet a good man? Maybe at a health fair. Maybe I would love to encourage my peers.
It's a family affair.
It really is. And I'm talking about you 40 years old and you've never done nothing about
There will
checking
be
on your
100
stuff.
black men there as well.
At least 100, at least. And I'm not saying they all single, but I'm saying at least they're in the mindset of improving themselves through health and wellness. Because one thing I've noticed, especially again, I date and whatever, the way young men eat nowadays, it just turns my stomach to see they'll eat all the bacon, all the cheese, all the bread, all the sugar, and then next thing you know, boom, diabetes. How did I get here? I don't know.
Well, that's why we
Well,
have
try
all these
cooking.
killers. That's why we have hypertension. That's why we have diabetes. That's how we have substance use disorders.
There is a track for
We
this to
are-
happen.
We are eating ourselves to death, literally, and we have been for generations. And I think that's what makes our event special. It is about Black men's health, very specifically Black men's
Specific.
health. And I know saying Black is like saying the cuss word in 2026, but
You better cuss.
we lost sponsors because of our name. We lost dollars because of our name, but we will continue to stand in the community and represent people that look like us.
That's my baby brother right there, y'all. That's Chuck right there. Chuck. So Chuck. Okay, we are talking about the event that's coming up with Man Up, but just tell about some of the success stories that we have with our young people and the impact that we're having on the community as an organization.
Well, last month in June, we had 20 seniors graduate. 19 of them are college bound, and one young man is going to the Air Force. We've been doing that for the last 31 years. And I try to tell that story to everybody that'll listen, because the most important thing that we do is empower our youth. Yes, we do multiple health fairs. Yes, we do things with oratorical competitions. We have a speech competition every year. This year we gave out about $10,000 in scholarships. So we do a lot of things in the community, but nothing is more important than making an impact on a young man's life.
So, Dr. Clayton, talk about education and the importance of education, and each actually as a model of the education. Just talk about your experience. You from Detroit, DPS educated. Just talk about that road.
Yeah. So one of the things, Charles was talking about the success stories, right, of the 100. One of the things one of the programs I really love is the been there, done that, right? And so when you're able to tell your story, right, coming up on the west side of Detroit, potentially in line to be one of those statistics, right? I tell this story.
And I'm just telling you, you're a preacher. We got 2 minutes. For real.
Yeah.
Just let you know. Okay.
So I'm about to close. and so, but yeah, but just really sharing the story. Like I always tell people about the story. I graduated from high school with a 1.87. Now I have a doctorate degree and 2 masters, right? And so that 187, that's symbolic. There's symbolism to that, right?
Absolutely.
I was on the road to the death, right? The statistical death, right? And so I always share the story. If I can do it, you can too. And so just being able to 20 years in the Army, retired in 2010. And so again, look at God, right?
Yes, sir.
And so being able to continue to share that with these young folks, to give them some encouragement and to give them some audacity to do good.
Yeah. All right, we got a question. Go ahead, Leverett.
Yeah, just for Charles and for you, Doctor. How and the listening audience, especially Black men, how do we get involved with the organization? I mean, how can we join? And Charles, I want that shirt, man.
I give it to you before I leave. But you can go on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, 100blackmendetroit.org. any way that you want to engage with us, you can do that. Personal friend, you can call him, you can call me, man. You can always come out and support us. And we would love to have a brother like you, because I know you actually gonna put some work in. Some of these guys, they want the shirt, but they don't want to do no work. Right. So that's
Did you make that rhyme? You sound like Daddy. They want the shirt, but they don't want to do no work.
I listen to a lot of Jesse Jackson.
So again, tell us a little bit too. We got about a minute left. Give us some more information about August 1st, how they can get more information about it, and then also too how they can get more information about the organization.
Yep. So again, the event starts at 10 o'clock. It's from 10 to 2 on August 1st. And so you can get information. Again, we're using many vehicles as possible, right? So the quick way is going Google, right? Google 100 Black Men Health Fair, and we will pop up, right? And so again, just look for all the literature and all the advertisements that are being posted, right? Channel 2, Channel 4, vehicles like this, and the website 100blackmengreaterdetroit.org.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's been a great day. Did y'all enjoy it today? Yeah. And before we go, y'all, I want y'all to put y'all hands together for Gerald Smith, our producer. He is making sure that we have quality guests here, and we're getting the information out. And last but not least, let's make sure we send a prayer for Rev as he's coming back from out of town, and also that he's given us the ability to actually do these types of things as well. So. And we got free water because it's hot. We got cases. So if you want some water, take some water with you. And we'll see you all next week. Ed?
And as always, Detroit, we love you.
All right. And that water is donated by DTE since they won't lower your bill. No, I'm just
With Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Thank you.